Okay, this is an introduction to Capital Vending's new module kit for Rowe dollar bill changers. This has been vastly improved since our first version. A couple of the new improvements. This is going to work on 24-volt validators instead of 120, so that potentially is more safe and direct plug-in. We've also added several LEDs. I'm going to plug this into a machine and show you and explain what they do. Over here, when I have this plugged into a machine, there's actual test buttons. So you're going to be able to test this to do your troubleshooting so you can figure out if it's the machine, module, or validator. But basically what we've done with this, when you buy your kit, it's going to include a circuit board. And this is just a straight up plain Ethernet harness that's store-bought. So we had customers that would get this harness caught in the door. As long as you don't short the voltage to the lines, you might be able to just buy this and it will be a cheap fix to keep your machine going. Basically, here we have our circuit board is connected to your 24-volt pulse validator. And on our website, we'll give you your options for these where you can take 1s through 20s or 1 through 5s. But it's very simple and it's just going to have a straight Ethernet connector. In a future segment of the video, you're going to see where this right here plugs into the harness that originally went to the coin acceptor. In the event that you will be using a telemeter or a card reader when you're to monitor your sales or dispense tokens, basically this connector here is used exclusively for the USA Technology G9 and G10. There'll be a male and female connector. We're going to use the male connector, and that will just plug directly in. This will be tucked under the cover. And then this harness is specific to USA. The one for NIAX is very similar. So this plugs into this open connector. And that's to run to the telemeter. If you're using NIAX, this will be the only connector that's required. And then just as an example of how easy this is, there'll be an open connector here, and this will just plug into it. And so basically at this point, you can have your sales reported or accept cards. Just another feature to mention, on our older kits, we did not have the ability to do bonus payouts. We will custom program chips, so in the event that you want to take a $10 bill and rather than give out 40 quarters, give 44 or 42, if you want to accept and dispense extra bonus tokens as an option, we will do that. And basically takes about 1 to 2 weeks turnaround time for the custom chips to be programmed. But they would plug in here, and that is socketed. So if you are dispensing tokens again, and you're using this or with cash, this new kit, it is possible to dispense bonus tokens.
All right, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how easy it is to install the 24-volt Capital Vending module kit in a Rowe changer. This is really going back to the legacy older changers, the BC11, 12, 25, 35. They all use this real old transport. So there's a different video for the BC3500s, the ones that'll have a walking blue dash on the control board, but this is for much older machines, but basically the installation on all these is the same. So this one video kind of covers how to do it, and then later in this video we talk about how to program the board. Basically, this old transport right here is going to be removed, and there's a connector on the left and a connector on the right. And a lot of times these connectors are a little bit difficult to pull out because they're so old, but you push these side clips in. So this piece is going to slide out. This transport part right here is just held in with 4 1/4-inch screws. So these just, there's a nut on the bottom, and I just recommend a small ratchet. And so if you remove these, this entire stacker assembly comes out. And then I'm going to, just to save time in the video, show you sliding the slide plate in a later segment. But basically, this is the Mars MEI 24-volt pulse validator. This metal plate is included with the kit. And once this piece is removed, it slides right down the track. So to save time, I'll remove that and then just show you how well that works. For the 11, 12, 20, 25, 35, they're all going to come with this jumper right here. So this jumper, it's mandatory that it's plugged in here, and it's got the flat side of the pins will plug in here on the left side. So that needs to plug in place firmly. If you don't do that, the kit absolutely will not work. Okay, so the steps, the module kit basically, this right here is going to connect directly to the validator, which is very simple, and I'll show you that. There's one 9-position connector here. On all the machines, what we're going to do is disconnect this coin assembly, and they all have this. This was stock from Rowe. And so this also a 9-position connector. It's like the other one. You want to pay attention. It's got 2 flat sides here, basically, so it can all plug in correctly. And you're going to plug this in this way. And then basically this will have enough room. You would want to tuck this out of the way in a safe area down here. And you'll have this board right here. And this is just going to connect directly onto the side of the bill validator. On the module box, it tells you how to set the dip switches, which are here. For the most part, if you're using this green label validator, this is the most popular, is a 1 through 20. 1 through 3 are on. Number 8 is on. But this is printed on the box. Basically, so this board right here will be keyed, and it just slides into the side. This right here, just as an FYI, is just a standard Ethernet cable. So we want you to dress it nicely, but in the past we would have customers cut this cable and then they kind of had to replace the module. This is just a store-bought Ethernet cable. So in the event that this gets old, you just run to a local electronics store and you could buy it on your own, and you'll be back in service. So this is how fast it gets installed. One other recommended part that we do, and this will cut in a different place in the video, on this back payout assembly, to get to it, we're going to have you remove these hoppers. And in the video, there's this coin payout assembly. We actually recommend that you remove the VEN solenoid buckets so that it does a direct pay. We don't want the escrow buckets with this kit, because when you put in a $20 bill, it pays out 5 times the $4 bill. When this machine was originally made, it was made to accept $1. Then the BC115, they would do 1s and 5s. With this kit, you have the ability to do 1s through 20s. You also have the ability to add a card reader if you're dispensing tokens, so people can pay by their phone or pay by cash, and really dispense a lot of coins. So future segment in this video, and highly recommended, we're going to have you remove the escrow bucket so this changer will do direct pay. All right, so here we've removed the stacker assembly, and just to give you an idea of the fit, this new heavy slide plate slides right in place and looks nice and neat when you close the door. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to remove these flaps from a Rowe payout assembly. This is for a 2-hopper. The 3-hopper process is the same, and basically once this is done with the capital vending module kits or the board kits, the changer essentially has a live feed, so there's just far fewer moving parts to break. Basically what we're going to do is remove the 2 exterior E-clips here, and then there's 1 on this side, so all the 3 rods can be slid out of place. And then basically all the flaps and the springs will just freely fall out of the containment. So on this top edge right here, there's 2 E-clips exposed. So just with the straight edge screwdriver, I'm just going to gently pop them out of place. So I removed the 2 E-clips, and then there's a bottom E-clip right here on this rod that holds the blue springs in place. So I'm going to pop that out of place. And once that's popped out of place, that released and it just fell freely. So here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just start sliding these rods, and all the pieces will kind of start freeing themselves up. This lower rod right here will come out of place. And as you're doing this, our goal basically is to, so you'll see, as you're doing it, the pieces will gently come out of place. So here's the large flap, here's my center flap, slide this down a bit. This one was a bit of a challenge. Sometimes if you just twist them, they'll come free. So as you can see, process is already complete. One very important step on the newer Rowe machines that I call it the walking blue dash, so BC100, 200, 1200, 1400, you cannot disconnect the harnesses to these solenoids. So do not remove these solenoids, because the power supply needs to see a current drop when it wants to activate these. Now I'm going to talk about programming on the BC11, BC20 control board with the capital vending 24-volt module kit. I'm just kind of giving you an overview. The way to program this is actually in the Rowe manual.
If you have difficulty with this video and it's challenging for you, if you send us the board, we will program it for you. You just have to enclose it and tell us what we want. But basically, it's very, very easy to program. Basically, these switches here apply to the $5 input, and this applies to the $1 input. The $10 input and the $20 input are double and quadruple this amount. So you just program this for what's the $5 payout, and the module's going to take care of itself. So first I'm going to talk about BC11, which is a 2-hopper front load changer. When you're programming that, because it's 2-hopper, you have a left and a right hopper. There is no center hopper, so it's absolutely mandatory that all of these switches right here that are for the center hopper must be off, or you're going to get a fault code, and this fault code will be in the Rowe manual. But make sure these center are off. And basically for a $5 bill, typically somebody would want to dispense 20 coins. So most typically they do 10 from each hopper. So basically dip switch number 2 has a value of 2, dip switch 4 has a value of 8. So on this bank here we put on dip switches 2 and 4. And the same is here for this right hopper. We're going to put on this marked here, this dip switch that corresponds to 2 coins, and this dip switch at the very end corresponds to 8 coins. So we have 10 from the left, 10 from the right, and that gives you a total of 20 coins for a $5 bill. And of course you can change this in the event that you are doing quarters and nickels. Just use what's printed on this board and you'll know how to do the programming. This program here is for the $1, and it's only a left and right option for the $1. So basically the most common programming would be dip switch number 2 on to give you 2 coins, and this value right here is for 2 coins. So the dip switch that corresponds to 2 is placed in the on position. So for a $1 bill, you get 4 coins dispensed. So again, if you're doing nickels or quarters, you're able to use different value settings on these. And now, if you're doing the BC20, 25, or 25mc, that is a center hopper. So you want to take advantage of that to get the most change paid out. Your $1 payout is going to be the same as the 2-hopper. But here, since you have 3 hoppers, you're able to use the center hopper. So basically for a 20 coin payout, you could do, most typically you might want to do like 4 on the left side, you could do 4 on the right side, and you kind of want to take advantage of using the center hopper. So maybe you would set it for 12 coins. So here I can see 4 and 8 are the amount of coins that are dispensed when the switch is in the on position. So if it was a BC12 and you're dispensing quarters only, you may elect to have 4 and 8 on to dispense 12 coins. All right, this is a quick overview of how to set the programming when you install a new Capital Vending 24-volt module kit. Basically, I'm just going to quickly make a quick video of how the Rowe book explains it. When you do this kit, we do recommend you bring the owner's manual just as a review, and look over this video, watch this before you go do the installation. But have your owner's manual in case you have any questions, because there's any errors in the status display, the Rowe owner's manual will explain it. Our kit just interfaces with this board, so this board is still the primary brains of the machine. So often when it malfunctions, you're going to want to have that Rowe manual. Basically, this control board works in a BC35, 12, and 12R. I'm going to begin by talking about the 12 and 12R. Those 2 changers each have 2 hoppers. So what we're going to do, I'm going to talk about the $1 payout, and I'm going to assume you're paying out quarters from both hoppers. Basically, this information, you can just use this information and change your payouts as you wish. But for a $1 payout, you're going to be setting these switches. So dip switch number 2 corresponds to 2 coins, and then the switch below it, I see a number 2 here, and this corresponds to 2 coins from the right hopper. So 2 from the left, 2 from the right are your dollar payout values. So you want to have those switches on if that's the amount of coins you wanted to dispense. So of course you can change this for tokens, nickels, dimes, or quarters, but you just want to pay attention to this silk screening. The $5 bucket, we're going to set this right here to pay out 20 coins. And basically if a 10 or 20 are inserted, this is going to double or quadruple the amount of coins paid out. So that's how the 10 and 20 payout work. It's very easy. So for the BC12, it's 2-hopper front load. So we're going to ignore this center hopper. So if you have a 2-hopper machine, you must absolutely make sure nothing is on for the center hopper, because if it is, it's not going to work because the machine knows there's no center hopper. So very important, for the 2-hopper machine, you disregard this potential hopper in the middle and only worry about these two, not this third one. So basically, for a $5 payout, the typical way our customers would set this up is put the dip switch that corresponds to 2 coins and 8 coins, they would put those on. That gives me 10 coins. Then I go down here to this legend, and they have 1, 2, 4, 8. So I'm going to put 2 on and 8 on, same as here. So that gives me a total of 20 coins. In the event that this kit's being installed in a BC35 changer, you have 3 hoppers, and it's smart to take this center hopper into account, and actually you want to use this substantially so all your coins pay out. So basically, if you are going to have a BC35, you may want to set, for the left hopper, you might want to set this for 4 coins, so that would be the 3rd switch down. This here for 4 coins, set that switch, and then to get a total of 12 coins from the center hopper, you add the 4 and the 8 together, put those switches, and then you'll get 12 coins, so that will kind of use your hopper. In the event that you want to do the MC payout, basically the dip switch right here is MD dispense or MC dispense, and you want to put that on, and these are the values, so you'll be using this and this for these payouts. And again, very important, this is explained actually in the Rowe manual, but for those familiar with it, for the maximum change payout, it will go from hopper to hopper, but you have to have the same value of coin in it. And if you're doing MC payout, just apply what I just explained, but use these values here, but you need to set MC dispense here to the on position. In the event that this does not make any sense to you, or if you're a very busy operator, if you tell us, if you send us a working board, we will do the programming and testing for a charge of $25. So you would just send us what you want, we will program it, and we will test it with a module kit and return it. So if this does not make any sense, again, you can send it to us, but this is very easy. Any local repairman that's familiar with the Rowe changer should be able to watch this video or just know how to do this. But if you do hit a roadblock, you can send us the board and we'll take care of it for you. Okay, so I'm going to go over how easy it is to install the new 24-volt Rowe update kit. So here we have a BC3500, and this is one of our more popular kits. And basically, what I'm going to be showing you is how the LEDs in the box work, and it'll kind of dramatically help you with troubleshooting. And this is going to show you how fast this is to install. But basically, on this machine, I need to remove the bill box. And what I'm trying to do is access the cord that originally went to the coin acceptor. So here I've unplugged it. I'm just going to connect this directly here. And just give you an idea, 2 of these pins here have flat edges. So if you match them up to the flat edges here, you'll know how to plug it in, because it's a 3x3 square, so there's almost 4 ways it could be plugged in. So basically, this is important. This is the next step with this particular kit. There's this little jumper here, and this is very important. So what we do is, this harness right here goes to the BA50. All this is going to be coming out, but basically, a very critical part of this kit, that this jumper goes into place. So once that's done, you've, except for programming the board, this kit's installed, and then of course we're going to mount the validator here. If you're familiar, Capital Vending made a 120-volt version of this kit. This is our new kit. The 24-volt version, it's just kind of got a lot of nice options. The better options I'm going to talk about is the use of these LEDs. As I'm turning this on now, this board takes 30 seconds to initialize, and the reason is it can interface with a credit card reader, and we just basically didn't want to have any noise on it. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to explain these LEDs as everything powers up. Basically, this red LED just indicates you have 5 volts from the host machine. This orange LED indicates you have 24 volts from the host machine. This LED right here basically is indicating that there's a good ground circuit. And what's going to happen here, after 30 seconds, this enable LED has come on. So at this point, this is ready to work. And if I go over here, when this is not working, this LED will not come on. So you have to set your dip switches, but basically when this LED is lit, and in some cases it could be green or multicolor, but when this is on, I would expect there to be a solid LED here. If there's not, then the issue is likely going to be the dip switches on your bill validator. So we have these LEDs. This helps us tell what's going on, and I'm going to just show you how I'm going to test it. There's 3 small buttons here. This top green button, when I push this, it basically simulates a dollar input, and you have to do this extremely fast. Like, you can't push it and hold it. It has to be like an electronic pulse. So when I push this, you're going to see this LED flash, and that LED should go off. So basically, this is how I know that the pulses are coming in from the bill validator. So when you're putting in dollars, if this is not blinking, the issue is with the bill validator. This being on green solid indicates that there's no problems with the machine. If this is off, you want to look at your control board. There'll be a status code showing, and then basically the Rowe control board for the 1200, 1400, or 3500, based upon the status code, will tell you what to do. So this second button down basically is the payout for the $5 bill. So now this is paying out the coins, and basically the 5, 10, and 20 trigger this. And this blue button right here, I'm going to go ahead and push this, and you'll see this blue LED come on. And basically what this is doing, this is actually testing if a credit card is hooked up. So when you're putting cash in here, if you have a credit card telemeter, all the money that's going in here will be reported. So from your office, you can go online and see the amount of cash here if you want to, if you in fact want to update to that system. But this button gives you the ability to push it, and then you could go online and make sure that the board is working and that your telemeter is getting the input, and that it's going to report your cash sales. So again, just, these LEDs are critical in the event that you should be able to figure out what's going on, but if you have to call Capital Vending, the person on the phone is going to want to know what LEDs are blinking and then what troubleshooting you've done. Again, if this is not coming on, it's going to be a programming issue or an issue with your board, which you'll be able to fix. We would expect the orange and red, if those are not on, it's an issue with the power supply in the machine. And this is going to come on after 30 seconds, and we're ready to take money. And we feel that everything's in good shape with it.